How's it going, guys? Castner here. Welcome to another episode of World War Z. Today we are going to be doing a build guide on the Fixer. If you like this kind of content, please make sure to subscribe. Please like the video if you do enjoy it. Feel free to go back and check out some of my other playlists. I'm also doing a playlist on Days Gone, so if you like the zombie genre, feel free to go check that out. Tons of zombies, tons of hordes. But without further ado, let's get into the video. Hopefully you enjoy. One class that honestly at first I didn't think was very good. Like I was not having fun with this class at all until I got probably around level 15 or so, and then I kind of got to see he's actually quite good. The Fixer it's not someone that's going to be spraying bullets. They're not going to be making things explode. It's even less flashy than the Exterminator. I mean, understandably the Exterminator has claymores and stuff, lots of explosions, Molotovs, lots of fire. Fixer doesn't do any of that. The way I have him set up actually is to pretty much make it to where your team is very hard to kill. I'll get into the skills and how that makes sense in a second. But with this character, what I've been able to do is on the harder difficulties, your team goes down quite a bit, especially during the extractions. Especially if no one's rolling Exterminator. Exterminator is very good at making the extractions easier for thinning out the herd. Feel free to go back and check out my my last build guide for Exterminator. I'll link it at the end of this. What this one does is it makes your team and yourself invisible as much as possible. I know a lot of people didn't understand when I was playing this character why I didn't go with the breaching charge. And even though that does seem like something that you're definitely going to want in any situation, believe me, it's not. In the easier difficulties, yeah, you'll want that breaching charge, but not in the higher ones. But yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. We'll do a skill by skill like we did in the first one. Mule. This actually doesn't do a very good job at telling you what your character is all about, in my opinion. Exterminator, right off the bat, you kind of understand your character is the one that's going to be making every extraction, every horde, just easy mode. This character, though, it just doesn't do a very good job of telling you what you're all about. Start with Supply Bag and Scout Rifle. Scout Rifle is actually a very underrated gun. It's very good when you level it up. Increase carried ammo capacity for primary and secondary weapons by 10% for all teammates. Yeah, that's good, but it's not game changing. It's just helpful. Your first skill you're going to get when a teammate uses your supply bag, there's a 20% chance you'll also gain explosive ammo. At first, yeah, explosive ammo is nice. Later on, though, it falls off quite a bit. Armory using a supply bag gives 15% chance to restore one equipment charge. Again, the supply bag, what it does is it gives the teammate that uses it explosive ammo. And where that sounds amazing, it actually isn't. In the higher difficulties, pretty much everyone has their gun leveled up all the way anyway, so they're one-tapping all your normal zombies anyways. They don't really need the explosive ammo. I mean, the explosive ammo does decent at thinning out herds, it does decent at killing bulls, but it's very underwhelming, let's say that. You would imagine exploding ammo is just going to absolutely wipe the floor with everything, and it doesn't. The third choice, though, Paramedic, revive speed increased by 50%. Where that doesn't seem very fun, not as fun as exploding ammo, it's very necessary to this build. This right here, first skill right off the bat, is very, very important. It's one of the core skills here. Next, we go with Night Owl. Masking grenades grant an additional temporary health boost. Start with masking grenades. Now, I think I know what a lot of you are thinking right now. Why not do side effects? Masking grenade gas is lethal to zombies. Start with masking grenades, because then yeah, you're able to kill zombies and stuff like that. That's not what we're focusing on in this build. Yes, you will have stopping power, so don't think that you're just going to be sitting in the back never firing a gun, never doing anything game changing, because you will. It's mostly going to be just your primary attack, but you will hit pretty hard. You'll pack a punch. Side effect, though, again, just like the exploding ammo, it's very underwhelming. You would expect to see the clearing potential that like the C4 or the grenades or the claymores have, or even the Molotovs, and it doesn't. Not to mention the fact that zombies don't really stay in the gas very long. It's not an instant kill. It takes a little bit to kind of tick away at their health. 9 times out of 10 you're going to throw this and the zombies are just going to walk out of it. And you're just going to be sitting there wondering why you picked this skill to begin with. The only time that I saw that this was a huge help, missions like in New York when the zombies are climbing up at the very beginning up the wall at the mall, or when they're climbing up the train also in New York and you got to get them off the sides of the train, stuff like that. That's about the only time that I ever saw this particular skill helpful. Other than that, just not worth it. Stand by me. Increase firearm damage by 50% for 10 seconds when reviving or unpinning a teammate. It's just not good. Because the thing is, if a teammate's pinned, they're hurting pretty bad. They're not going to get up and instantly want to be right into a fight. Chances are when they get up, they're running. That's what most anyone does. And it's just instinct. You're low on health, and 9 times out of 10, everyone's just going to run. So getting 50% extra damage when unpinned is just, it's not practical. Knock knock, start with the breaching charge. This is honestly why I started playing this class. I wanted the breaching charge because I know that in a lot of extractions, there's little doors and stuff that you can blow open that have a chance of giving you another defense item, like your shock gauge, your mortars, your stationary guns, your auto turrets, stuff like that. And I thought, you know, coming from the exterminator, which makes the extractions easy, to something else that makes extractions easy, that's right up my alley. I'd love that. But it's not as good as you think, especially when you compare it to the other skill in this category that you saw that I chose. But we'll get to that in a second. Give them hell. Reviving a teammate grants explosive ammo for both of you. Again, when you're in a situation when you're reviving a teammate, you're probably going to be running. So by the time that you run, get yourself composed, get your health back up and stuff, it's just, you're not going to see that big of a change, honestly. Especially, like I said, most of my builds are geared towards the later levels. Everyone's got their weapon upgraded anyways. The explosive ammo is just, it's not as good as you'd think it is. Last choice though, Cloakroom. Revive a teammate grants masking effect for 3 seconds for both of you. I think I have a skill that actually boosts this. I think the base is 2 seconds. Now this is very helpful because, like I've been saying the whole time, if you're reviving a teammate obviously they were downed. But why were they downed? It's either because a bull got them, or a lurker pinned them, or they were just swarmed with zombies. So when you get revived, like I keep saying, chances are you're gonna run. You're not gonna stand and fight. And this just goes hand in hand with that. Yeah, obviously no one wants to look like the coward that runs away from the fight, but if all of your team goes down, you lose. So if one of you can run away and still be alive, and can wait that time limit for your team to get back up, I feel like they're going to appreciate that a lot more than if you stood and fought and died and started the whole level over. This right here, it's absolutely amazing. And as you see, it's at 3 seconds for me. The base is 2 seconds, so you will have skills that kind of up the duration. All right, next skill, please stand up. If everyone in a team is incapacitated or pinned by a zombie, then the fixer is able to stand up. This is amazing for the one that I just was talking about, Cloakroom. So say you just get swarmed by a horde. Nothing you guys can do. Your whole team's going down. You get to stand up, and if you have one of your masking grenades, what you can do is you just throw it right at the ground. The second you stand up, you're invisible at that point. You then run around, you pick up all your teammates, which then grants a stack of this, because this does stack. It grants a 3 seconds cloak for you and for them. Then you pick up another one, gives you 3 more seconds. Actually, let me go ahead and rephrase that. It doesn't quite stack as it does. It resets. It resets those seconds that you have invisible. So you have however long this one. I think it'll say that later in the build, how long you're invisible because of this. Then you have your 3 seconds on top of that. Those 2 stack, but this one here, it just restarts the timer. So you revive a teammate, they get to be invisible for a little bit. That's good, that's great. You run away from them, you go to your next teammate. You revive them, that redoes your 3 seconds again. Go to the next one, you revive them, redoes your 3 seconds. Meanwhile, you're reviving them in like half a second because you revive 50% quicker. Not only did you just get your entire team up, but you gave them a second to compose themselves. They're not instantly being swarmed the second they stand up because they're invisible. And that helps out quite a bit. Like I said, especially in the later levels when, yeah, your teammate can stand you up, but you get instantly down because zombies hit like a truck in the later levels. Next skill, I got my round 1. Increase carried ammo capacity for primary and secondary weapons by 10% for you and all teammates. I feel like this just helps out the most. Like back to this one, you start with that, and it's helpful. I mean, it's not game changing, but it is helpful. Same thing here, it's helpful. I mean, you're not going to see a humongous difference. Your allies will thank you for having just a little bit more ammo, if they even notice it. Wheatgrass, health increased by 25%. Where I picked this on the Exterminator because of his health shield, it just wasn't as practical here. You're pretty much in the back lines with this build. You're keeping people alive. your focus isn't so much on yourself. It's if you can keep your team alive, you're going to progress. You're not going to solo an insane mode by yourself, especially when you have 3 angry teammates. Like, it's not going to happen. So focus on your teammates, keep them up, keep them alive, keep them stocked with ammo and everything. They'll be a lot happier. You'll get a lot further. Gunner, start with the sporting carbine, PAC 15. This is another good choice. The carbine is a good gun, but I just like the scout rifle. Honestly, I haven't maxed out. It does very good damage, very good stopping power, as long as you're hitting headshots. And honestly, it's a lot easier to hit headshots than what people might think with the scout rifle. You aim right here, right where their neck connects to their chest, and with the sway of the gun and the recoil, 9 times out of 10, if you're aiming there, like if a horde's coming at you, you're going to be popping off headshots left, right, and center. It's where the bullets go, and yeah, it's a lot easier. If you're not as good at hitting headshots, I would recommend getting Gunner. The sporting carbine does pack a bit more of a punch, so if you do miss, if your bullets do stray and you hit a body part, you're still going to do a lot of damage, and the penetration on the sporting carbine is a little bit higher base as well. Even if you do hit a body shot, at least it'll be going behind the one that you just shot, and it'll hit them as well. Next row, there's one for the road. Max masking grenade capacity increased to 2 and supply bag capacity to 2. Where you think, yeah, that's awesome, especially with what you've been saying. You want to be invisible as much as possible. It's great you guys are thinking that way. I started with this until I got to this. And you're thinking, okay, so why do I want to waste 350 when just the next level I'm going to get this? This will help out in the meantime, especially like I keep saying in the higher levels, win or lose, you actually get quite a bit of money. So wasting 350 on here just until you get this, not a huge deal. If you're worried about money, then just save it, wait till you get pickpocket. Pickpocket is a skill that you, across the board on every character, you may as well have it, because 15 zombies is not hard to kill, and a 25% chance to refill your equipment is decently high, especially when there's no cooldown to that. You can keep it going. As long as you're killing zombies, you still have a chance to get this. Yeah, you can only hold 1 masking grenade, but like I said, you're using your masking grenade for defense, not offense. If your team's good, if you're doing good and everything, you're not throwing your masking grenades constantly, you're just in emergencies. And this is a good way to refill them. If you're refilling your own masking grenades, you don't have to take away from the supply bags, because people like the medics or exterminators or hell, even the gunslingers and hellraisers probably have things that are more useful in that aspect. They have like your grenades and molotovs and stem pistols, which are very important. So they're going to want to get the supply bags. And if you have a steady source of being able to reproduce your masking grenades without having to take away from your team, that's what this build is about. You want to help your team as much as possible. So please get this skill. Scavenger, 25% chance to restore 1 equipment charge by killing a special zombie. That also seems pretty decent, but think about it. How many normal zombies are there compared to special zombies in the game? There's quite a bit of special zombies, but just compare it to the normal zombies. Which one are you going to be fighting more? Obviously, you're going to be killing normal zombies more. Just stick with pickpocket, trust me. Next skill, we have instant replay. Anyone that uses your supply bag restores 20% of their primary weapon ammunition. We're not using the supply bag. If we were, yeah, that'd be great, but we're just not. Like I said, the explosive ammo falls off quite a bit late game, and you're not going to find it to be very practical. Under the table, anyone entering masking grenade gas cloud restores 20% of primary weapon ammo. This goes hand in hand with what we've been saying the whole time. Help your team, help your team, help your team. Anyone who understands what a fixer does, the second you drop that gas grenade, people are running into it. It turns them invisible, it gets the heat off them, they get a second to catch their breath, and if it gives them extra ammo, well, yeah, why not? I mean, who's not going to want extra ammo? I mean, it's not a ton, it's not like it completely refills your gun, but restores 20% of primary weapon ammo? Why not? Next, we got Go Get 'em. Reviving a teammate will restore 15% of primary weapons ammunition for you and your teammate. Ideally, you're going to be throwing gas grenades more than reviving people. If you feel like your team is just going to get overwhelmed, maybe you're helping out some lower level friends or something, you might want to Go Get 'em instead of under the table, because you're probably going to be reviving them more. In my experience, under the table is better, but either which one of these are good skills. This one's just more of a matter of preference. But like I said, I stuck with under the table. It worked better for me. Next, we have efficiency. Supply bags contain 25% more explosive ammo. Masking grenade effect duration increased by 5 seconds. That's incredible. You're invisible for 5 seconds when you walk into one of your gas grenades. And if you think about it, if you're invisible, if your team follows suit and jumps in as well, they're invisible. 4 people invisible for 5 seconds, that's all you need to take out a horde. Honestly, that's all you need. Because you can fire, you can melee, you can do anything, and they won't fight back. So for 5 seconds, you can just do whatever you want, and nothing's going to hit you. I mean, unless your ally shoots a grenade at your feet or something like that, but no zombie is going to hit you. Alright, next category. I did lightning hands. All semi-automatic rifles reload speed increased by 25%. This helps out in hordes. It helps out quite a bit. Now, I do understand that there is the reload cancel. For those of you that don't know, I'm going to be making like a 5 tips and tricks video here before too long that'll talk about that. There's a way that you can actually reload your weapon before the circle finishes, but we're not going to get into that here. We'll pick that up on a later date. Power shot. All semi-automatic rifles gain increased penetration. Now this is good. It's very good, because like what we talked about in the Exterminator, and something that the game doesn't really explain too well, penetration is how far your bullets go. You get a gun that has no penetration, you're only hitting the zombie you're shooting. You get a gun with high penetration, like your shotguns and your single shot rifles and stuff. The higher the penetration, the further that bullet's going. You may hit that zombie, dead center of the chest, it's flying through, hitting the one behind it, right in the chest, so on and so forth. And it's just going to keep going based on the amount of penetration you have. In my experience though, I like to reload a little faster. It's a lot more practical, especially when zombies are running in your face. You want to just be able to reload as quick as possible. Most of your semi-automatic rifles already have really high penetration. Some of them are even maxed. I mean, it's not as useful. Like I said, when you get higher up and you level your gun all the way, you're not going to need power shot. Maybe until you max out the semi-automatic rifle of your choice, you might want to go for power shot, but lightning hands just seem to be a little better for me. Casual 6, start with the Casual 6. If I'm pronouncing that correctly, I may not, I don't know. Start with the Casual 6 in your secondary weapon slot. Like I said, I'm pretty much a big fan of the guns that he starts with, so I didn't really want this. You might, if you enjoy this gun. It is a good gun. If you enjoy this gun, sure, take it over lightning hands, especially if you know about the little glitch that allows you to reload quicker. Before they patch that, you can take advantage of that, so you won't even need this skill. This tree, again, it's more up to preference. All of these are good skills. They are. I just like to reload faster. That's my preference. Next, 4th of July, supply bag contains 25% more explosive ammo. Again, we're not using the explosive bag, and by this time in the game, at this level, you should have seen it fall off, like its potential fall off quite a bit. I'm going to go ahead and assume most of you guys aren't using it either. Next choice, Shadow Walker. Masking grenade effect duration increased by 3 seconds. Again, that's awesome. The effect is when you turn invisible. The cloud is how long it's there for people to walk through. So you want your effect up, because if you're throwing the grenade, most times it's going to be at your feet or an ally's feet. You're not going to be throwing it way off in the distance, and then you got to full sprint to get to it in time. Next, you have Darkness Falls. Masking grenade gas cloud duration is increased by 3 seconds. That is literally what we just talked about. That is the cloud itself, not the effect it gives. I mean, if you were building this as the side effects where you kill zombies with the gas, that one would probably be better for you. But like I said, just killing your zombies with your gas grenades it's not very effective. It's not efficient in any way. It's better to focus on defense in the later game, especially your class. Let the heavy hitters go for offense instead of trying to be the big flashy guy. Just trust me, if you're playing Fixer, if you stick to defense, you'll do fine. Fixers are so hard to kill. They're so hard to keep down. It's so hard to keep your team down. You're so good at getting out of sticky situations, going invisible, reviving your teammates so quickly. In all honesty, the class that this resembles the most, in my opinion, is Medic, which we'll be doing a build guide on. That'll be our next build guide, is Medic. But yeah, let's go into the next category. We got My Round 2, increased carried ammo capacity for heavy weapons by 10% for all teammates. I feel like the game does a pretty good job of giving you heavy weapons, especially at your extractions, your endpoints. You don't really need to hold on to an extra 10% ammo for them. I mean, that's not really game changing. I mean, it's helpful, but it's not going to make a huge impact. This skill here, Bandolier, I believe I'm pronouncing that correctly. Mortar and stationary machine gun ammo capacity increased by 25% for all team. Durability of defense items increased by 25% for all team. This is actually a very good skill. I'm probably going to end up buying it as well. Actually, now I'm thinking about it, let's just go ahead and buy it now. Episodes like, or chapters like Tokyo, where you're pretty much guaranteed a stationary machine gun. Like when you're in the subway, you're trying to get the bus through the little roadblock, and it's lower and making lots of noise. Your stationary machine guns that are pointed at where the zombies are coming from, they're 100% coming from there. They're not coming from anywhere else. That's going to help out quite a bit. Yeah, you got your payload rifle that can take out some of them, but you got 1 or 2 guys on a stationary machine gun, you're going to take out more. Or like the very end of that level where you got to protect the 2 gates, your stationary machine guns actually take out quite a bit of zombies. So extractions like that, you're definitely going to want Bandolier. It helps. It helps quite a bit because the effect isn't just for you, it's for your whole team. And it's not just the stationary machine gun and the mortars. Like it said, the durability of defense items are increased by 25%. That's like your little shock gate things, your actual fences you can place down, your barbed wire, stuff like that. And it's not going to break as easy. And any kind of crowd control that you can bring to the game and your extractions and your holding points, the better. You want as much crowd control as possible. The reason why I went with the Big 5-0 is there's a lot of situations where people freak out, like when a bowl or something comes into play, especially bowls. It's mostly what I'm going to be talking about this time, or during this skill. Bowls seem to be almost everyone's weak point. The thing is, though, they're not as scary as what you'd think. Literally, you act like a matador when it charges at you. You walk one way or another and turn around and open fire. But people have a very hard time of juggling bowls with hordes, so if you can spot it ahead of time, especially with this payload rifle, and you can just knock them out before they even get to your team to avoid the whole panic, that's kind of what I do. I save my payload rifle. Unless the team's doing incredibly well, then I'll use it during like extractions and endpoints. But for the most part, it's a bowl hunter. That's what it is. And it takes bowls out of play real quick. If you hit them in the back with this thing, I think it's 2 shots. If you just shoot it at their feet, it's like 3 shots, even on the hardest difficulty to kill a bowl. So this is going to take out 2 to 3 bowls depending on how and where you shoot them. Like I said, I'm gearing this guy mostly to help my team. I'm never the guy that's like just blowing things up all the time, the flashiest character. But there have been several occasions where I've saved my entire team, where everyone's gone down, my character stands up, I throw the grenade at my feet, go invisible and revive everyone, and we come back and beat it. If you do play this character defensively, you'll find that there are actually a lot of times that you come in handy a lot more than even a medic does, because that utility of going invisible, it's game changing. Like I said, I compare this character a lot to the medic, whereas you don't get straightforward heals, you get so much utility. That going invisible it's honestly incredible. It helps out so much. Your last skill, Corporate Power Nap. Unequipped weapons automatically reload every 10 seconds for all teammates. Again, not game changing, but it is very helpful. Especially if you have someone like the Hellraiser that has like the Thumper in his secondary slot, and during waves is just shooting with the Thumper, then his primary is going to reload. Like the Exterminator that run shotguns, run out of ammo, don't want to sit there and reload, so they pull out their secondary. Maybe they have a shotgun in their secondary, maybe they have a pistol, I don't know. Then it reloads their primary. So again, not game changing, but it does help quite a bit. I'll go ahead and cut over to my weapon that I use. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. It's a scout rifle, but I'll cut over to it and show you what it looks like all leveled up. And be right back. It's going to seem like half a second for you. Alrighty, so scout rifle. This is honestly very underrated in my opinion. It does quite a bit of damage, and with such high accuracy, you can pull off headshots really, really, really easy, especially if it's a horde coming at you. Like I said, you aim for center mass and then up a tick, just like a tiny little bit. So you aim middle chest and just barely move your cursor up, and chances are, even though you're not aiming for the head, with your bullet sway with the recoil, you can literally just sit there and just fire that as quick as your finger can hit the mouse, and you'll just be hitting headshot after headshot after headshot after headshot. That's why I went with accuracy with this gun, because zombies' weak points are obviously their head, and if you're hitting headshot, all you honestly need is about half power and you're good. This one here gives you more power, gives you better handling so you don't have as much recoil, but it lowers your accuracy. Like I said, this gun's all about accuracy. You're able to hit headshots like crazy with it. But yeah, anyways, I'm going to go ahead and take you back to the build real quick and we'll wrap it up. See you in like not even a quarter of a second. Alrighty, so that has been my in-depth discussion for the Fixer. We'll go ahead and just run back through it one more time, just recap everything that we talked about, and again give you an understanding of what this class does. You have your faster revive. You have your grenades give you a health boost, which is like a stim pistol. You have reviving a teammate grants a masking effect, for 3 seconds. So you revive them quick, then they're cloaked. You have please stand up if everyone is pinned or dead or downed, not dead. You stand up and you go around and help everyone up because you're that nice of a guy. And this skill it saved me quite a few times. My round 1, again, this skill is its preference. I wouldn't go with Wheatgrass because this character's not going to be frontline as much as like Exterminator. I'd probably stick to my round 1 or Gunner, just depending on which one you want. My round 1 I found to be more beneficial just because a lot of people out there just kind of like to spray their weapon, just kind of spray and pray, and this goes hand in hand with it. Next we go for Pickpocket, because you want to be able to sustain your masking grenades on your own without taking supply bags from your teammates. And like I said when I showed you the gun, this gun is really good at picking off headshots, so you're going to be getting this a lot more than what you think, especially during hordes. I've had times that my masking grenade has come back 5 or 6 times during just one horde. Just from the amount of headshots you can pull off. It's honestly not as hard as you think. Next, I went for Under the Table. Anyone entering masking grenade gas cloud restores 20% of primary weapon ammo. Like I said, very helpful. And again, most people like to spray and pray, so why not give them more ammo and let them have fun. Next, we have Efficiency. Supply bag contain 25% more explosive ammo. Masking grenade effect duration increased by 5%. The second part is what we're worried about. It's increased to 5 seconds. That right there is what's helping us out. Next, we have Lightning Hands, reload speed. If a horde's coming at you, you want to be able to hit as many headshots as possible, and with this, you will be able to. You reload very, very fast in comparison to not having it. Next, we went Shadow Walker, masking grenade effect duration increased by 3 seconds, and the base is now 6 seconds. So once you walk into your gas grenade, you're invisible for 6 seconds. I can't touch you whatsoever. You and your team, whoever wants to walk in there with you. 6 seconds of pretty much invulnerability unless some moron shoots you with a rocket launcher or you walk over a grenade or something stupid like that. Last one, if you want to take the extraction, or I keep calling them extractions just because I played a lot of Left 4 Dead, but you guys understand what I mean, the endpoints where you set up your defense. If you want to make that easier on yourself, pick this one. If you want to be the bowl hunter, pretty much like what I do, I go out of my way to try to kill the bowl before it even gets to the group. I'd go with that. The payload rifle can help you out in other sticky situations, but I found that killing bowls is the best one to help you out with, so that's why I went with that. Corporate Power Nap, unequipped weapon automatically reloads every 10 seconds for all teammates. Again, I don't think that needs much explanation. That one is what it is. It's nice. It's not game changing, but it is very nice. Again, just to wrap this up, the Fixer I don't think is an in-your-face character. I don't think he's anything like Gunslinger, Hellraiser, or Slasher. I think he's in between the Exterminator and Medic, in my opinion. He's not quite a healer, but he does help your team stay alive. He doesn't necessarily thin out the herd like the Exterminator does, but he makes extractions a little easier. He's just very well-rounded. He's almost like a ninja or something. He just disappears and does headshots, and I don't know. It's almost like an assassin class, in my opinion. If an assassin was like a supporter. But yeah, anyways, that has been my discussion for the Fixer. If you guys have any questions, like as to why I chose certain skills, maybe you have an idea of what I could tweak on here to make it better, or if you just flat out didn't agree with the way I play it, feel free to let me know. I'm all about hearing back from you guys. Honestly, I do enjoy it. I like to hear back from you guys regardless of whether you're just saying I did a good job or whether you're challenging my viewpoint on it, which those are actually sometimes just as fun because I like to hear other people's perspectives. And just because I see something one way doesn't mean you guys saw it the same way. Maybe you guys took this character a whole nother direction. And if you did, I'd love to find out. Like I said, my next class discussion, in-depth build guide will be medic. Next will be gunslinger. I actually met a friend on here that played gunslinger, and he was tearing it up. I'll link his name when we get to the gunslinger build. Give him a shout out because he motivated me to want to play this character. He was doing very good. But if you like this kind of content, go ahead and like the video. Subscribe if you want to see more. Feel free to go back and check out my other playlists. Check out the rest of my World War Z. I'm also playing Days Gone. It's a zombie game, so if you're just kind of into that type of genre, I do have some more zombie content for you. We're doing our best to head towards 25 subscribers. I feel like we can get it by the end of this month. We're moving up pretty decently. We're getting like a subscriber every other day or so. So I feel like we can get 25 by the end of this month. Hopefully we can. Without further ado, though, I'll stop ranting. I'll let you guys go. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. And I've been Kastner. You guys have been KillKhast, and I can't wait to see you in the next one. Bye, guys.